Art of Conjure by Fade. The term conjure or conjuration has mixed meanings in the magical community. It is often used in one of two senses in American folklore. The ability, one, to draw and manipulate forces in its purest sense of invoking and manipulating energy and matter in all its varieties, from throwing fireballs to summoning alien spirits from beyond. The ability, two, to influence and channel spirits using materials and substances that affect how events play out and how the beings in the spirit world look on mortals so as to achieve a desired result, such as charms and amulets. The use of conjure also refers to root working in Hoodoo and is associated with that line of magic. Ultimately, conjuration is an act of will designed to manipulate the forces of nature for a purpose. In this sense, even passive ESP involves subconscious conjure of psychic information to any access to use for a gifted intuitive reader to employ. Thus, all of subjective nature is in the constant flux state of conjure. To conjure is in many senses to be a tool-wielding being, tapping the forces around them in a calculated fashion. This is why it is said anything can be conjured, and nothing is conjured. For to realm the forest of creation, your absolute success as a sentient being depends on how effectively you conjure the forces around you to assist you in your evolution. Thus, while cleansing, praying, invoking, and meditating for enlightenment and the cessation of suffering is theurgy, or magic conducted strictly for the evolution of the soul beyond life, all the other arts of practical magic or thaumaturgy are in fact a form of conjure or low magic. However, despite stereotypes, one is not necessarily superior to the other, as the soul is married to and conducted through matter as a medium of expression. Therefore, ultimately, all things used as an act of will by a living being are to conjure in some degree or fashion. But a conjurer is one significantly adept at practical magic, of drawing natural forces to their will. And thus, to be an adept conjurer or magician, one must be auspicious in one's skill with the force they conjure. A conjurer of oracles is a diviner and a medium, much like myself, whereas a conjurer of matter is dubbed a mechanic or a physicist these days. But you, what is your unique brand of conjure, and how is it that you employ it to evolve towards your goals in life? This is the question. In root working, the answer is simple. Peace, prosperity, and spiritual enlightenment are sought out through practical mastery of tools and the forces around you. Root working is folk conjure derived from Hoodoo that specializes in harnessing magnetic forces to create spiritual effects and alter the flow of events. Thus, sympathy magic is in some variety the working of roots or the stem life forces of nature. It was in Hoodoo that the term conjure was popularized in modern culture. In root working, perfumery was highly influential, as was psychopharmacology, sympathy magic, and talismanic focal points, or gree-gree. This African-American folk magic is perhaps one of the most practical forms of conjure we have today, as unlike many forms of magic, it invokes natural forces to solve daily problems for clients. This is, in the end, the point of conjure: to harness power and use it to solve a problem. Therefore, we intrinsically accomplish in traditional magic the alteration of karma, or the effect of natural forces as they are, whereas religious ceremony seeks more to transcend or absolve this karma towards some higher state of law. The conjurer or traditional serpent of wisdom may have attained a degree of absolution to this effect, but has decided to use that enlightenment for practical purposes in the world of karma and nature rather than the direct purposes of immediate divine transcendence to some higher incarnation. This alone has great utility in assisting other living beings on their journeys through the mortal circle of life, and thus a conjurer in traditional societies, though feared, is respected for their knowledge and control of the principles of nature. The serpent is associated with conjure because serpents represent the root essence of the material plane, the fires of sensation and matter that catch and harness the senses of the soul itself and set the matrix of reality into a pattern of movement. Hopefully this special feature on the Art of Conjure better explains this broad, miraculous facet of our incredible animated universe and how we navigate it. Much love, Fade.